the other way. I don't want to film me. I want to film the road. So how? That is where we broke down yesterday, and we pulled back in the shade back there. Or not yesterday, but one of the last videos, 4 days ago, 3 days ago. Not really a breakdown, a preventative breakdown. Okay, let's take care of the Pop-Tart box. And almost made it into no man's land. Okay, and we are. Should we or should we not? Well, if we're going to do it, with the camera being right there, I have to back up enough to where y'all can see what I'm doing. still recording. Good. Looks much better than it did. I gotta wash this trailer out. She's getting right. Okay. Well, we told the sister we was on our way home. He's headed right there, and a little bit stop and clean up ain't gonna hurt. I've been eyeballing that for a while. Breeze feels good. What do we have here, folks? Paper cup. I like that little flatbed cup. They made that mistake before and almost did it again. Hit that throttle before you get your feet up on the pedals. It ain't a fun ride. Whoa, it's trash. Eyeball scan. I don't see. Oh, look up there. It's a second. One thing about a litter, most of the time, it stands out because it does not match the surrounding environment. There's a couple of tiny little pieces of cigarette butts. sometimes you don't get to go very far. Bit of build up right here for rain. It'll just help it along. Cushiony golf ball. What do you think, folks? Hell yeah. back at another time and finish scraping the sidewalk up, but I just like getting those bottom runs at the curb entrances for handicapped people, and so it doesn't cause water floodage issues. One of these days, I want to scrape this along here, and then run the blower, and trim up the branches. This, on traffic, you know, don't know if I can be heard. This section of road here is the section that I have adopted. One of the streets I've adopted is the main thoroughfare. As you can see, it's actually, I think, considered a highway in the maps. Just curious, is the body cam preferred, or the, not body cam, but the camera preferred to be like it is now on the bike, or do you think on the body, like in some of the other videos? The main reason I don't like on the body is because when you're adjusting the footage later with Insta360 cameras, you got to correct any angles. It's not just a straightforward shoot. Put a tiny little gum wrapper in the 5-gallon bucket, and the wind picked it up and threw it out into traffic where it disappeared. God's like, that piece of litter needs to stay there for the next guy to find. And hook right, hook left, and go.
Vest on bright, electric bike coming through the morning light. Trailer full of tools, ready for the mile. He scans the curbside line with the working man smile. Bag by bag he moves, block by block he goes. If the wind blows loose,
they gotta go.
Little man, little man, little man, picking up the pieces all across the land. Little man, little man, little man, little man, keeping our home clean day in and day out, fam. Covington to Kent, Washington keeps moving. He's out there every day, every neighborhood improving. Bottle caps and boxes, before they stay. He leaves a better sidewalk when he rides away. Sheet on long gone. Little man, little man, little man, little man, picking up the pieces all across the land. Little man, little man, little man, little man, keeping our home clean day in and day out. Not a flashy job, but it means so much. Every picked up rapper is a neighbor's love. Covington and Kent feel the pride he brings. One clean street at a time, that's how a good one wins. Little man, little man, little man, little man, picking up the pieces all across the land. Little man, little man, little man, little man.
Well,
Orange
yeah, I think I'm gonna blow them rocks back up into the bed. we want to be oriented to go across this intersection, so we need to come out the crosswalk sidewalk on this other side. Bottle cap.
Wait.
Pull tab off a can. Okay. Now it's my turn. This road that I adopted, this main road, gets so busy, you can see the bumps in it from heavy semis. Couple of pieces of triage. And I'm gonna have to turn off the camera here in a second because I'm gonna run inside, and I don't always drink soda, but I need a little sugar. So I'm gonna grab myself, well, I might even just grab a sugar-free, but my favorite is root beer. Grab myself a root beer and maybe something to munch on. And we'll be back. Stop recording.